Okay, hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be tier ranking all of the physical books I read in 2025, which I'm very excited about. I am, however, only doing my physical books, not the ebooks and audiobooks I read, because there were 95 physical books alone. I don't have time to do the 110 other books that I read, so unfortunately we will just be doing the physical books that I read. And with me I have my trusty dusty reading journal so I can refer back to my actual reviews. But let me see if I can start recording on my laptop, because there's a chance I don't know how to do that, so bear with me. Did I start it? Okay. I think I'm doing it. Here's hoping it actually works and I don't have to restart this whole thing. But I've got, I don't know how many sections to tier rank into, but 95 books, and we will go over the levels now. So starting at the top, we have 6 stars, Will Never Shut Up About It. Self-explanatory, my all-time favorite books. We'll reread them, we'll be thinking about them for all of eternity. Yeah. And then Amazing, No Notes. These are like 5 stars that are really good, maybe 4.5 stars, but they're not like on my brain all the time. So good, books I really loved. Yeah, a fun time. They're good. There might be some things that I didn't love, but it was a fun time. Good enough. And then the next one was Wasted Like All of My Potential. I had a lot of hopes for it, and it was just kind of disappointing. The next one is Towing a Line Here. It's like almost there, and by almost there I mean bad. Almost bad. Oh, there's a dog barking. Apologies if you can hear that. And then my next one is No. And that is, there's like one book I can picture going in here, and that's just like, would not recommend to my enemy. Not a good book. And then I have 2 more. One is Amnesia for Real, and that's just if I really can't remember anything about that book. I'm hoping I don't have to use that category, but I suspect I may have to. And then the next one is just nonfiction. I don't rate nonfiction books, so it's hard to put them in these categories. I don't know. But yes, let's get on with it, I suppose. The first book, as you can see, many books. The first book, and the first book that I read this year, is The Scholar in the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Perry. This is not going in this category. This is just putting it here so I can move it. This book was really, really good. It was the first book I read. I read it mostly because I was looking for Emily Wilde vibes. I wouldn't say it gives Emily Wilde vibes, but it's so good, and I really, really loved it. So I think I rated it 4.5 stars when I read it. I still really enjoy it. I think it's such a good dark academia, and the fairy aspect, it was just amazing. So I think I'm gonna put it in amazing, no notes. Off to a bang. And the next book is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is the 3rd and I believe final book in the Maple Hills series. It is a hockey romance, and it is by far my favorite in the trilogy. I really, really loved it. I would say you probably have to read the first 2 books, so if you don't want to read them, then I would still recommend this one. I just think it had a lot of like emotion, and that's what I love in my romance books. So I'm going to put this one in so good, just because, I don't know, I don't think about it really that much, and I don't have really any memory of it, but I remember loving it. So good feels like a solid category for that. And then the next book is A Court of Frost and Starlight by S.J.M. This is the novella in the in A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm gonna put it in Wasted Like All My Potential. I really did not like this one. It should have been like an anecdote. I don't know, and it was weird because we switched between first person and third person point of views in one book, and it was weird. It was, I mean, it could have gone in fun time, but I think as a like, you know, sometimes when they put at the end of a book like a short story at the end of the book, it should have been that, and not a full book on its own, if that makes sense. And the next is His Majesty's Dragon. I believe this is by Naomi Novik. This is the first in the Temeraire series, I believe. I really enjoyed this one. I had a bit of a hard time getting into the talking dragons because I was like, why are you talking? Like physically, like not brain talking, but like out of the dragon's mouth talking. But then the dragon won me over and they were amazing. So I think I'm gonna put it in So Good. Maybe it's a fun time, but I think it was better than a fun time because it's a little bit heavier because it's a wartime story. So good, I think. And I have not read the rest of the series. I haven't read any other books in that series, but I have one and I'm planning to. Also, the dog is still barking at my neighbor's house. Apologies if you can hear that. Next is Mirror of Beasts by Alexandra Bracken. She is one of my all-time favorite authors. I really enjoyed this series. I wish that I had read it right after I read Silver in the Bone, which is the first book in the series, but alas, I did not. But I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna put it in So Good. I've only read a few Arthurian legend stories, so like I feel like some people are sick of it, but I have not read enough to be sick of it, so I really enjoyed it. And then next is Dust by Alison Stein. Finding it in my reading journal. This is a book we read as our January book of the month for the book club that I run, and I really enjoyed this. It's a YA contemporary following a girl who is, I think, hard of hearing. Maybe it's partially deaf. I'm so sorry, I cannot talk today. The dog barking across the street is not helping. I really enjoyed this one. It was a great story about like finding friendship and finding yourself while living in a family that's, I can say, controlling. Her family is like intense homesteaders, and like the daughters don't go to school. It's like a miracle that they're letting her go to the cafe to work. But I really enjoyed this. I think, again, I'm gonna put it in So Good. It's a good thing I made this category. A lot of things are going there. The next book is Solitaire by Alice Oseman. I really enjoyed this one, but not as much as I wanted to. I just feel like I might have built it up so much in my head because I love Tori. I am Tori. So I think I was just like, oh, it's gonna be this big thing that's gonna hit and it's gonna be great. And I just feel like I missed some of the emotions that I was hoping I was gonna get in this book. And it was also, low-key, I was not prepared for it to be about this, like the plot. I didn't read the blurb before, and I'm trying to see how I described it in my reading journal. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to take the turn and be stalkery and like low-key not terrorist, but like, I don't know. So I think I'm gonna put it in a fun time, which feels like a crime, but I think it's just, I disappointed myself because I got too excited. Next is Court of Winter, which is a reread. I read it on my Kindle in 2024 and then I really liked it, so I asked for it for Christmas, and then I reread the series physically. I'm gonna put this in Amazing No Notes. I'm probably gonna put the rest of the series here. It's really good and I do love to reread it, but it's also like not like, it's not a 6-star because I don't have a ton to say about it. It's just like a good time. So, and this one's by Krista Strait, if I did not mention the author. And the next one is Song of Silver Flame Like Night by, I always say this name wrong, Amelie Wenzhou. Amelie, I don't know. And this one is going in Wasted Like All My Potential. I had a lot of hopes for this book, and I don't know if I just like wasn't in the mood or what, but I could not get into it. The writing was so like info dumpy, and I just felt like I had no idea what was going on the whole time. And again, maybe it was me, and maybe I just like wasn't in the mood for it, but it was not my favorite. But I still would like to read the second book someday, but I probably won't because I won't know what's happening. Oops. Okay, next book is Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing I am putting in 6 stars. Will never shut up about it, I think. I loved Fourth Wing. So good. It was the vibes and the trials and the war camp or war school, amazing. Next book I read though was Iron Flame. I'm giving you a heads up. The rest of the series, it just slowly gotten worse for me. I'm putting an Iron Flame in So Good because I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of thoughts. I feel like it should have been split into 2 books. Like I read the first half and then it splits and it's like part 2 or something. And I was like, a chapter before that, I was like, this would have been a solid book by itself. And then I read the second half and I was like, oh, this is why it's not by itself, because this half can't stand alone. The first half can stand alone. Second half can't. And I don't know, I just was not loving it as much. So I will never shut up about Fourth Wing, but I will shut up about the rest of the series. Like, Fourth Wing should have been a standalone. It would have been an amazing standalone. I don't know how they would have ended it to make it a standalone, but I stand by what I said. And then next is Thorns of Frost. This is the second book to Court of Winter. I feel like I'm gonna put them all in Amazing No Notes. They're good. They're like each 200 pages. I don't even really remember what happens in which book. So that's kind of why I feel like they're probably all gonna go here, but I really enjoy them. I love the romance. I love the world building. I love a dying land trope. Like, the land is dying. There's a curse or a disease, and like, I love that. So the next is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This was a reread. It is going straight to 6 stars. We'll never shut up about it. I have a whole reading vlog. I love this series. It's so, so good. My cat is named after Wendell. Need I say more? And I had literally have 3 copies of the books. And I read them all back to back. So we're gonna pop them all of them. Map of the Otherlands was also a reread. So, so good. And then Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. This came out in February, is my first reread. I mentioned, like, the book before this, that I love a cursed land, diseased land. That's in this one. So good. It was so good. And the buttons. I can't believe the buttons came into play. And there's such a good quote in this one. I can't remember exactly. It's like, there's one thing people will never tire of, or like, he was like, I've lived 1,000 years, and there's one thing that no man will never tire of, and that is love. All else is ash and ember. And that last part, all else is ash and ember, is so good. That's such a good quote. I love it. But I love this series. I won't shut up about it. My babies. My babies. So. And then the next book is On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. That's going in nonfiction. I didn't rate it. It's not a bad book. If you're not into evolution, don't read it. You're gonna hate it. But I really liked it, and it does a good job. The point of the book was he tried to make it make sense to the common person. So the whole book was talking mostly about like agriculture and like farm animals, where like the common person would get it. So it was good. The next book is No Longer Human by, I don't know the author's name. I am so not caught up. Osamu Dazai, I don't know. This one is going into amnesia for real. I don't remember a single thing that happened in this book, other than I thought the guy was majorly misogynistic. So that's all I have to say on that. The next book is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is the Once Upon a Broken Heart holiday novella. I'm gonna put it in a fun time, because it is a fun time. It could probably be better than a fun time, but I feel like that describes it the best. I was kind of hoping we were gonna get more Scarlet in this book, because the second 2 books in Caraval are following Donatella, and I love Scarlet, and I miss Scarlet, but this one was following Donatella again, so I was a little disappointed in that, but the story itself I enjoyed, so I'm not disappointed in the book, if that makes any sense at all. And then the next book is Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambo. This is another book that I read for my book club. I'm going to put it also in a fun time, because it was a fun time. I feel like it was really good, but there were some things that I like didn't love, and the romance I didn't love, and then all of a sudden there was a spicy scene out of nowhere, and I was like, that was not needed. But I loved the world building. I just wish they expanded on it more. Like, we got more time in each thing. Like, if you've read the book, you follow, like, it's kind of like a dream world, and you're going from all these like really interesting tiny tidbits, and I wish we spent more time in each of the little tidbits, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't to the average person who hasn't read it. My bad. Okay, and the next one is Wings of Snow. This is the 3rd book in that series. Amazing No Notes, same thing as the first 2. I've been through my reading journal because I am very far behind. Okay, next book is A Court of Silver Flames. and this is where I finished the Why am I forgetting the name? Court of Thorns and Roses series. Sorry. I enjoyed this one. This one might be one of my favorites in the series, which I know is controversial, and it's not because of the spice, I promise. It's because this one felt the most emotionally involved. Like, I just felt more invested in the characters, and I love the friendships between Nesta, Gwen, and... why am I forgetting her name? I'm forgetting her name, sorry, don't kill me, it's been a while. So I'm gonna put this one in so good. A Court of Thorns and Roses is not my favorite series. I love Throne of Glass. Nothing will ever compare. And this series is kind of meh to me, but this one is definitely one of the better ones of the series. Okay, next is Green Teeth, and this one is going into a fun time, which it was a fun time. It is a cozy fantasy following a swamp monster, what was he considered? Why am I forgetting what he was? This guy who's he wasn't a warlock, but something, and then a witch, but she was like a burned at the stake kind of witch, like they threw her in the river because they thought she was a witch, but she doesn't live in the Fey world like the other two main characters. And it follows them trying to, I don't even remember what was the goal. Something, they're on a journey to do something. And our witch friend, whose name I can't remember, is like really worried about her family because her town, you know, threw her in the river, and they're trying to like, I don't know, guys, I don't remember a whole ton from this, but it was a fun time. They were on a journey, there was a dog, it was great. That's pretty much it. Next one is Unearthed but Briefly Gorgeous. This is by Ocean Vuong. I really enjoyed this one. It's short. I wouldn't say I like thought about it as much as I would after. I enjoyed it at the time, but it's nothing, I don't know, nothing that stuck with me. So I'm gonna put it in so good for now. Okay. Guys, we're not even halfway through. I need to talk faster. Next is Things We Know by Heart. This one was a reread. I reread this one every year, so it's going in 6 stars. We'll never shut up about it. It is a YA contemporary. Honestly, the writing, probably not the best, but the story is so sweet, and I love our main characters, and it's so good, and I would recommend everyone reading it, mostly because I love it. But it follows a girl whose boyfriend dies, and I think it's like, he dies like their senior year of high school, and it follows her like the summer after, I believe. And she's trying to reach out to all the recipients of his organs, because he was an organ donor, and she doesn't hear back from the guy who got his heart. So she does a little internet stalking, and she's like, I just want to see him. So she finds out where he works. I know it sounds really creepy, but it's with the best intentions, and it's so sweet. She finds out where he works, and they accidentally run into each other, and it follows them having this, I'm just thinking about the sunflower, and it makes me so sad. I'm so sorry. That makes no sense. And I'm sure like the chance of anyone watching this that has read this is like so slim. But the sunflower, that's all I'm gonna say. It makes me so happy and so sad at the same time. And I told myself I was gonna talk faster, and instead I'm gonna cry over this book. Next is Book Boyfriend. I read this as part of the book club at the bookstore that I worked at, which is different than the book club that I run. Yeah. I'm gonna put this in Wasted Like All My Potential. I did not enjoy it. It was kind of cringy. I don't like the characters together that much. I don't remember a whole ton, but I just did not enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. Next book is Upon a Starlit Tide by Kel Woods. We read this as a part of the book club that I run with my friends, and I'm putting this one in so good. It's kind of like a Cinderella Little Mermaid retelling kind of, and it was really good. And it like starts out mostly historical fiction, then we get a little bit of fantasy in there, and it was just really good, and the vibes were amazing, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And then next is Crescent City 3, which is House of Flame and Shadow, I think. I still don't know which books is called which. Dare I put this in Wasted Like All My Potential? I did not love this one, and I did not reread the first 2 books before reading this one, and I read this one a while after the first 2 books. So I'm like, maybe it's because I like didn't remember a whole lot, but I like remember really loving the first book, and I just really did not care about this one like at all. I didn't care about Hunt and Bryce in it. I feel like they were like so at ends. It just, I don't know. So I'm gonna put that one in wasted like all my potential. Don't hate me for it. Next up is Crowns of Ice. This is the 4th and final book in this series up here, so I'm putting it there because that's where they're all going. Okay, next, oh, I'm scrolling too far. Onyx Storm. It could either go and wasted like all my potential or towing a line here. I'll be nice. They're just, it was not good. It was so bad. The books, I don't know, man. Like I'm really only reading the series now for Andarna because I love her, but I just feel like there's a lot in this book that just, no. Next. Okay. Flipping. Okay, next is The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World. I'm gonna put this in So Good. Kind of the same thing as Unearthed but Briefly Gorgeous. I really enjoyed it. It was this heavy book about grief and this phone booth that like connected you to your family who has died, but not actually. It's like an emotional connection, like it's not magical realism. But I really, really loved it. And there was just a lot of hope and it was really sweet. But I couldn't tell you any of the details from the book. But, so, that one. Next is Once Upon a Broken Heart. Once Upon a Broken Heart I am putting in So Good as well. I enjoyed this one, but it's not my favorite of the series. So it's going in So Good. Just because I rated this one like 4-star, and then the rest of the series blew me out of the water. So, next one is The Assassin's Blade. This is going in 6 stars. All of Throne of Glass will be going in 6 stars. This was a reread. All of Throne of Glass was a reread. 6 stars. Never gonna shut up about it. I love them. They're so much better than the rest of SJM's books. There's so much more like heart in them, and I can tell. So, and yes, I am using the old covers because those are the books I have. You can see them. Where's my finger? There. And my special edition copy. Okay, Zodiac Academy. This is the first novella. What was it called? Origins of an Academy Bully. Fun time. All of Zodiac Academy is going into a fun time because low-key, they're not good, but the vibes are great and I have a fun time. So just be prepared for all of the Zodiac Academy books that I read this year to go into a fun time. Next is Bridge Kingdom. I'm putting this one in Wasted Like All of My Potential. I read this one also as a part of the book club at the bookstore I work at. I did not enjoy it. Like, the relationship was not believable. The king being the king was not believable at all because no one listened to him at all. No one treated him like royalty. The world building was confusing. The girl had no emotion, and I get she had no emotion because she was trained to have no emotion, but there was no growth in that emotion. I just did not enjoy. The next is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is going into a fun time. I was just trying to read some different genres because I work at a bookstore and was trying to like branch out, you know. So it was a fun time, and that's all I have for it. The next is The Rose Bargain. This one is going in probably amazing. No, probably 6 stars. Whenever shut up about it. As long as the next book, The Thorn Queen, when that comes out, is also. But I read this one. I loved it. So good. One of the best YA fantasies, in my opinion. I'm just obsessed with our main character, Ivy, and I'm obsessed. Is his name Emmett? No, yeah, Emmett. They're so cute, and I love it, and I need the next book right now. So that's all I'll say about that. Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, a fun time. Firebird. No. I bought it because the edges were so pretty. No. It is horrific, like genuinely the worst book I've ever read. I wanted to DNF it, but I was like, no, I was reading it for 24-hour readathon. I was like, no, not a single thing happened. They threw dragons in ancient Rome, ancient Greece, I can't even remember, and there was just, they didn't fit. Like there was no reason, they just threw dragons in there to throw dragons in there. It was ended up being a slave and slave master romance. No, or really I guess conqueror and colonized romance kind of thing. No. The antagonist, he was supposed to be this really bad like conqueror, right? The only time we ever like saw him on page, he was just being a sexual predator, which is awful, right? But give me more depth to a character than he's just a sexual predator, right? I just, no, don't read it, please. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. Amazing, no notes. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about this one because I don't love the single dad or single mom or single parent trope, but it was so good in this one. And it isn't exactly single parent, it's got like a caveat in there, but it was so good, and they were all so sweet and they were so cute and I loved it. So I have not met a Mariana Zapata book that I didn't give more than 4 stars, or give less than 4 stars to. So next is Zodiac Academy, The Awakening is Told by the Boys, and Zodiac Academy, what's the second one called? Ruthless Fae, A Fun Time. Same context as before, they're just a fun time. That is the definition of these books, is a fun time. Next is Outliers, nonfiction. I read it for work because I wanted to read some other genres. It was interesting. There were some stories I liked and others that I didn't care for, but. And then Zodiac Academy, The Reckoning, A Fun Time. And then The Hymn to Dionysus, Wasted Like All My Potential. I'm not really a Greek myth person, but this one, like, there were some good parts, but there were some parts that I was just like, you're dragging, come on. And since I didn't know the Greek myth, I feel like I probably missed out on like some things, but that's that. And then Throne of Glass, 6 stars. Sorry, catching up my reading journal. House of Blight, a fun time. I enjoyed it. I plan on reading the next book, but I also didn't care too much about what was going on. I was hoping I was going to be a little more invested, but I wasn't really. So The Phoenix Keeper is going in Amazing No Notes. This was a new 5-star for me this year, but it's not one I'm going to be thinking about all the time. But I really enjoyed it. It is set at a magical zoo, following a magical zookeeper and her goal for conservation of the phoenix. And it follows her kind of budding romance and how awkward she is and how dedicated to these animals and their breeding program. And it's a really good book. I just don't think about it a ton, but it's a really good book, and I would definitely recommend it, please, because I've never seen anyone read it and it's good, I promise. Okay, next is Lightfall. Also read this for a bookstore book club. Putting in Wasted Like All My Potential, it was just so flat, and the writing was and it took me like 3 chapters to realize the character was a girl, not a boy, because her name was Sam and it was kind of boyish. And I feel like there was so much missing in the world building, and it was just so slow. It was so slow. Okay, next, Crown of Midnight, 6 stars, because it's my baby. It looks like I have so many 6 stars, but it's just because they're all the same series. The Ballad of Never After. This is 6 stars. We'll never shut up about it. The first book was okay. This one, guys, it was so good. I genuinely, on my Kindle charm that I made is inspired by Once Upon a Broken Heart. The character, oh, guys, it was so good. It was so good. That's all I have to say. This one specifically, and then A Curse for True Love is really good, but it's my second favorite. The Ballad of Never After. Oh. I'm emo over it. I'm so emo over it. Dark Fae. This is the first book in the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, which you're supposed to read concurrently with some of the Zodiac Academy books. So I'm reading those books. The first one was okay. It was a fun time. And then Alone with You in the Ether, I think I'm putting it in Towing a Line here, but it's because of the perspective I'm coming into it with, as I have a bias towards bipolar, which is what this book is about, because of my own experience with it in my family. So the book is really good. The way I have to take it is different than the way the average person will take it. So don't take my rating in Towing a Line here as it being bad, because it was not. I think I rated it like 4 stars. It's just my emotional investment is different than everyone else's emotional investment. I will not explain further. The next is Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. Where did I put the other Lucy Foley book? A Fun Time. Yeah, I'll put it in A Fun Time too. The Guest List, The Midnight Feast, they are literally, the plot is exactly the same. So predictable. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil, but like, that might just be how thriller authors work, but like, the same plot. Identical. Next two are nonfictions. The Sixth Extinction by, I believe, Elizabeth Kolbert. Yes, that one was pretty good. So, would recommend if you're interested in about that kind of stuff. And then the next is My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner. This one was pretty good. I'm not really sure if I needed to read it. I read it as part of a book club. So, next is Savage Fae. I will also put in A Fun Time. That's the second Ruthless Boys book. And then A Curse for True Love. I think I'm also going to put in 6 stars when I ever shut up about it, because they're just good. They're just so good. Oh, we're getting through it, guys. It's not like we're 32 minutes into the video. Promise Me Sunshine is going in Amazing No Notes. I love this romance so much. I love grief in books. I love romances that are so heavy. This one is really, in my opinion, it toes the line to like general fiction. It was so good. I loved Lenny and Miles, and they were so sweet. And I love the little girl. Oh, it was good. It was so sad, but so good. Would definitely recommend for those of you who are looking for a heavier romance. And the next is One Golden Summer. I'm going to put this in So Good because I did not love it as much as Promise Me Sunshine, and I read them one after the other. But it was like really, really good. The vibes were amazing. I loved the characters. The dynamics were great. So, love that one. Next is Silver Elite. I'm putting it in Wasted Like All of My Potential. I low-key don't remember anything, but I remember like feeling majorly disappointed by it. Trying to find my review. It was a fun time on the surface, but there's something that I didn't enjoy. It's a massive hodgepodge of all the dystopians that exist, and it is. It's like taking bits and pieces from every dystopian that there was. Oh, yeah. The fact that Ren, our main character, couldn't look at Cross, the male main character, without ever thinking how hot he was. I was like, girl, you don't need to say that every single time you look at him. It was so cringy. And then there was some really obvious like character reveal that I knew from the first second that we met one of these characters. Very obvious. The world building was so bleh, and everything was so obvious. It was like, oh, the company. Yeah, I know exactly what the company is. You don't even have to explain it to me. I know by the name just how obvious this is. But yeah, that was my written review of that one. Should I put that on Towing a Line here, actually? Am I? You can hate me for it if you enjoyed it. The next one is Come Home to My Heart by, who wrote this? Riley Redgate. This one was so sad and so sweet. I'm gonna put it in So Good. It follows 2 girls in, I think, their last year of high school. One of them comes from a very Christian family. The other one just moved to North Carolina from Atlanta, maybe. And she's like just not totally used to the dynamic there and the people there. And it's lesbian, sapphic, and they're so sweet, and it's so sad, and their romance is so cute and so precious. but it's so sad because the girl coming from a Catholic family, I just, yeah, would recommend, but sad. Next is Divine Rivals. Dare I say this goes in a fun time? Yeah, I didn't care for it that much. I didn't not like it, but it was good. And that was really the only notes. I haven't read the next book yet, but I think people like that one more, so we shall see. Okay, next is Ocean. This is a nonfiction. This is David Attenborough's new book that came out in May, maybe? It was really good. It follows 7 different ocean habitats and talks about both like their challenges they're facing in climate change, but also the resiliency of them. So it's like a really great book that like is honest, but it's also hopeful, and I enjoyed it. Problematic Summer Romance. I've read this one for a bookstore book club. I'm gonna put it in So Good. This is my first Ali Hazelwood. I enjoyed it. I don't love the age gap, just not really for me, but I really like the vibes, and I think they were cute besides the age gap, so no, I'm gonna put it in a fun time. Yeah. Next is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This book was so good. I'm gonna put in amazing no notes. It was just so cute, and the found family was so good. Oh, it was so cute. It follows this girl who is a witch, and witches are very secret in the world, and she has this YouTube page where she's like, oh, I'm a witch, but it's like supposed to be a joke. But this person contacts her and was like, I have all of these baby witch children and I don't know what to do with them. He had like essentially adopted them off the street. Not exactly the situation, but that's the best way to explain it. And he's like, I don't know what to do with them. I can tell you're a real witch. Please come help me with these children. And it's just so pure and so precious. And I'm probably going to do a reread because I loved it. Next is Heir of Fire. As I said, I kind of did this Throne of Glass reread this year, but I did it very slowly. So, then Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Toil by V.E. Schwab. I eat up anything V.E. Schwab writes. Amazing. No, Independent is so good. Mostly because I had a few questions about world building and stuff, but it might be a me issue and not a that book issue because she really tries to follow like the original vampiric lore, which I don't know anything about, so maybe if I knew that I wouldn't have questions, but I did have questions. But I loved following the 3 point of views. It was so interesting. But if you don't know anything about it, the way it's being described is toxic lesbian vampires, and yeah. So next is The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. This one was really good, but I did not enjoy it as much as The Very Secret Society, so I'm putting it in So Good. It was fun. It was cute. I didn't not care for the romance. I just didn't love it as much as I did as the one in The Very Secret Society. So, but it's got a lot of fun characters. We have a reanimated rooster corpse. We have a witch turned into a fox. We have this autistic girl. Her name is Posey, I believe. So sweet. I loved her. So that was this one. I'm very behind on my reading journal flip through. The next is Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is a fun time. I feel like I didn't love it as much as everyone else, but everyone else who's reading this series is like reading them one after the other, and I'm like, maybe that's the vibe I need, but I've only read this one, and it was fun, but I also was like, okay, we're doing the exact same thing. I'm over it. So, a fun time. Next is Vicious Fae. This is going and towing a line here. This is the 3rd book in the Ruthless Boys series, and the last one I've read from that series so far. Just, oh my goodness, it took me so long to get through that book because they're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. We're not getting anywhere. There's this mystery and we haven't solved anything. And it was just, I was over it. Very, very over it. Next is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm going to put it in a fun time because it was a fun time, but I'm not really invested in anything yet. I'm hoping the next few books will get me into it, but this is the only one I've read. And I'm like, I enjoyed reading it, but I'm impartial, so. The next is The Bane Chronicles. I'm also putting this in a fun time. This is the only Shadowhunter book I read this year. I need to read more. I want to read more. But it was a fun time. I just followed Magnus, and I loved when we got a little cameo from the Infernal Devices characters. That made the whole book. It did. And then our next book is Arcana Academy. This is going in wasted like all of my potential. I had a lot of hope for it, and it fell so flat. I did not find the two main characters in a believable relationship. The world building was not great. Concept sounds so amazing, but it felt really flat for me. I didn't like the writing. Oh, I forgot. I really did not like the writing. The world building was so hard to follow because it was just world dumped in paragraphs. And it was never shown that's what it was. There was so much world building, and like the main character, she'd be like, oh, this is blah 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 blah, and explain this whole thing, but then we'd never see any of it in action, and it was really annoying. But I thought the cliffhanger was convincing enough that I might read the second one, if that tells you anything. The next one is People Watching, which I'm going to put in a fun time, which I think is controversial because people really hated it, and I know why they really hate it, and I completely understand it, but I just kind of like ignored that part and went on with my life. So besides that part and that specific like thing that he said, and I guess he did, I really enjoyed it. I wish there was a little bit more heavy on the emotion. Like I feel like there was such a big potential for it to go really deep emotionally, and it just fell flat on that. So maybe I should go and wasted like all my potential. We're gonna put it there because I read it for the emotion, and the emotion fell flat. So that makes sense. Next is Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. I read this one for Bookstore Book Club. Also a fun time. It was really good. We had a lot of discussions about the book at book club. The word bitch was thrown around a lot, and they weren't wrong. So, Half a Soul, I'm going to put in So Good. This was the first book in the Regency Fairy Tales. I have not read the rest of them, but I believe they all follow different characters, so they're kind of standalone. But this one follows a girl who meets a fairy who essentially steals half of her soul when she's like 9 or 10 or something, and she grows up half a soul and kind of almost emotionless, and then it follows her entering her season, well, really her cousin's season, like to debut into society and all this Regency era stuff, and she meets this guy, and it's, but it's so good, and I really enjoyed it, and I want to read the rest of them. I just haven't yet. Okay, next is Bookworm. My boss gifted me Bookworm and another book I will talk about later. They were both like 200-page books, and after I read the second one, I realized my boss had a type. I'm going to put it in a fun time. This book basically follows a woman who's in a very unhappy marriage, and she's reading a book in a cafe, and she sees this guy reading the same book as her, and she thinks it's fate and that they're destined to be together, and she will do anything to be with him. So she just plots increasingly more obscure ways to kill her husband based on ways she's read about it in books. So she's like taking out screws of his car, and she was gonna put windshield wiper fluid or something in his drink, and but she doesn't really she does them, but like not really, and it's just like, it's wild. So it's a fun time, but it's wild. The next book is House of the Beast. I'm also gonna put this in a fun time. I think there's art in it, which is really pretty, like just little doodles, which I enjoyed. But basically it follows this girl who's like going out to get revenge for her mom because her dad and her mom are like very much not together. We're never together. But she like calls her dad to help when her mom is dying, and her dad's like, oh yeah, I'll help, and he takes her and then just leaves the mom to die. And so it follows her, and it's like a very religious, she's essentially being indoctrinated into like this religious sect by going with her father, and she's like training to be the right hand of the beast or something. But she's got this like devil on her shoulder, which is this imaginary friend that she thought she made up when she was a child, but he's real, and only she can see him, and she thinks it's the beast. And there's a whole lot, and it's so toxic, and I loved it, and I love the ending So maybe it's not so good. The like middle part was like fine. It was dragged a little bit, but then I really liked how it ended. I'm gonna keep it in a fun time. The next book is Orca, a Whale Called Killer. This is a nonfiction. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit more autobiography or memoir. Yeah, one of those two. Than I was expecting it to be, so didn't love that, but. And then the next is Say It Out Loud by Ashley Shoemaker. I still don't know how to say her name, and I really should know how to say her name because she's one of my all-time favorite contemporary authors. This was her adult romance debut. I'm gonna put it in so good. I enjoyed it. I just did not love it as much as her YA contemporaries. So, but it was good. I think maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I was a Twilight person because it had a lot of like anecdotes to that kind of thing. But it follows these two characters and they're recording an audiobook or like one of those like not like the whatever those audiobooks are called, like when it's like acting it out, an audiobook. I don't remember what it's called. And yeah, it was just a cute relationship, but not my favorite of hers. And then Road Trip with a Vampire, also read this for a bookstore book club. We're gonna put it in a fun time. No, we're gonna put it in Wasted Like All My Potential. I just didn't love this one. It could be because I didn't read the other books in the series, which we didn't realize it was a series when we picked it. Oops. But I had so many world building questions. Ugh, it drove me insane. And it's probably because it was supposed to be a holiday Hallmarky romance, and I was like, no, but the fantasy aspect is wrong. So that's a me fault for being a romance or a fantasy reader over a romance reader. Next was Cat Dragon by who wrote Cat Dragon? If I could flip the pages, that would be fantastic. Samantha Brown. I enjoyed this one. It's going in a fun time because it was a fun time. It's a very fall seasonal vibey fantasy, but it was cozy. There were just some things that towards the ending that I was like, oh, I wish it went this way. I didn't love this or that, but it was a fun like journey adventure fantasy. So the next is The Martian by Andy Weir. I think I'm also gonna put it in a fun time because it really just was a fun time. You're just following this guy who's slowly going insane in space kind of, but he's not going insane because he's like wickedly smart. And the writing was not great, but like it was just a dude talking to himself in space, so like the writing shouldn't have been good. So next book is A Curious Kind of Magic. I'm going to put this in probably a fun time as well. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It's a YA fantasy, follows a girl who's like very grumpy, and then her dad died and she's like broke and trying to keep this magic shop together, but there's no magic in the magic shop, but she's a con woman. But then she meets someone who can touch things and turn them to magic or like turn on their magic, and it follows them trying to essentially the con woman girl trying to get something to make a lot of money, and the girl who has magic is actually a curse, so she wants to cure the curse, and it's them trying to solve that. So fun time. Next is She's Gone by David Bell. This is a YA thriller mystery. Also gonna put it in a fun time. I really enjoyed this one. I didn't think I was going to because I'm never really a thriller mystery person, but what I have learned, I'm not an adult thriller mystery person. I'm a young adult thriller mystery person because I love She's Gone. I love the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and when I was in middle school, April Henry loved her books, devoured them like in one sitting on the bus ride home, and they were all thriller mysteries. So I think I'm a young adult thriller mystery. I just feel like they have so much more emotion and heart in them than the adult ones. The adult ones are just in it for the thriller aspect, not for like the character aspect, you know? Guys, we're getting down there and we're only 50 minutes in. Next is A Little Holiday Fling. I'm gonna put it in a fun time. I enjoyed it. It was not what I wanted it to be. I don't know. I just don't think I'm a Hallmarky romance kind of person, and that's why I didn't like it. So next, Atmosphere. I'm gonna put it in a 6-star. We'll never shut up about it, but I don't think it's one I'm ever gonna really talk about. But when I think about the ending, I'm devastated, but I'm not devastated, but I am devastated. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. There was like a small part in the middle. Like, I really liked the relationship, the love story in this book, but there's a small part in the middle where it was so much on that, and I just wish it was so much better when it was the whole thing. So that was like the one gripe I had. I was like, if it was like 25 pages less in that section, this book would, oh. Guys, I'm gonna cry over it. I need to stop. Next is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. We're gonna put this in. So good, because it was so good. I really enjoyed this one. It was very trippy, and I felt like I didn't know what was going on, and every time I learned something new, it unraveled everything you knew, and I still don't think I really know what was going on, so I'm excited for the next book, because I think there's supposed to be more. It was like a scavenger hunt for folklore items, essentially. But there was like all these people who were like, oh, you're supposed to trust me, but then the next guy's like, no, don't trust him, trust me. It was wild. Next is Queen of Shadows, and you know where that's going, because it can't not. And then The Driver's Clothes Lie Empty. This goes with Bookworm. This is the other book that my boss recommended to me. It follows a woman who goes to Morocco, but she loses her passport and her phone, and all this stuff gets stolen. So she just casually steals other people's identities. Yep. And that's what the plot of The Driver's Clothes Lie Empty and Bookworm are. Through this, that's what I realized about my boss. It just, both of them follow a girl, or a woman, who like accidentally commits a crime, sort of, and then gets stuck and just casually commits crime over and over again and then gets away with it. That's the plot of both of those books. They're exactly the same. Exactly the same. So, but Driver's Clothes Lie Empty was interesting because it was described as a book about like, oh, finding your true identity and who you are, and you don't have to be who you were. No, it's not. It's about this lady who's casually committing identity fraud. It's not metaphysical or whatever. Okay, next is Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. This one, I did not think I was a holiday romance person. I was like, oh, I'm not a holiday romance person. I'll never love a holiday romance. I really like Good Spirits. It was so good until the last about like 10%, and I knew I wasn't gonna like it because I was like, how can you end a romance book about a person and a ghost? Like, where am I gonna be happy with how that ends? And I just don't think there's any way that it could have stayed a romance and I would have been happy, because I think he needed to go. Like, it was the only logical thing for him to be gone, because he's a ghost, which means it's not a romance, because a romance can't end without a happily ever after. It's like a genre rule. So that would, I love the characters. I loved like the relationship. I loved the emotion. It was just the ending, there was no ending that was going to make me happy. So, and then Empire of Storms, you know where this one's going. It looks like I had so many 6 stars, but how many of them were rereads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 were rereads out of the like 13, 14, 15 out of the 15 so far, and then we've got 2 more. Deadly Ever After is going in. Wasted Like All My Potential. This is one I read for the book club me and my friends run. It sounded so good. I wanted it to be so good. But I hated the writing. And I feel bad, but I hated the writing. And then the ending, oh, and the characters, I could not tell them apart. There was 2 point of views, and the characters were so different. They were so different. But the writing, like, I could not tell whose point of view I was in because the writing was the same. There was no separate voice. And then the ending was so wild. I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil, but it was like, oh, this big turn of events, this big thing is going to happen. Chandelier falls, the end, and I was like, what? Like, I thought it was leading up for there to be a second book, and then it was not. And then the last 2 books that I physically read are torture, if we're being honest here, right? Tower of Dawn is torture mostly because you have to wait between the ending of Empire Storm and Kingdom of Ash, and then Kingdom of Ash is torture because it's Kingdom of Ash. So, but that is my tier ranking of all of my books. I'm so proud of myself for only having 1 book in Amnesia. That's great. Wow, 95 books ranked in 55 minutes. Now hopefully I can actually edit this and it saves on my phone, because part of me thinks it's going to delete. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed some rants, some near crying experiences, you know. But yeah, I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Bye.